Cameron just helped me. I turned it off by accident. Welcome, everybody. So glad that you're here. Okay, I got the sound. The sound's on. It should be. Welcome, Susan. You made it first this week. I can see that. So glad you're doing well. Monique, so glad you made it. Paula, I'm glad you made it here today. Ari, welcome. Chrisella, Debbie's in the house. Welcome. Cheryl's here. Oh, we got the sound now. Pat's here. Welcome, Pat. So glad that you made it here today. Monique. And Cameron's here. He's my hubby downstairs. And Marty's here. Welcome. So glad that all of you here. People are going to be rolling in, I'm sure. And I will give you guys a little update. I know it's been a week or so here. Well, it's actually been since I took the week off, and then this week about 10, 15 days or some 10 days. I don't know. I lost track of time. But I had a great time. I traveled all over. My brother and his wife, they rented a little Airbnb out at the coast, and we're about 2 hours, hour and 45 minutes from the Oregon coast. So we went out there for the day, and you guys, I was sitting there before we went to lunch, and I'm like, they had like a patio above looking over the ocean, and they pretty much got the place for the view. It was pretty nice. And we're sitting out there, and before we went to lunch, I'm like, man, it sure would be nice to see whales. It's been a lifelong dream. And I've gone on a whaling expedition and didn't see whales. So I was thinking, I was manifesting it, and we came back from lunch, and bam, there was a pod of whales out there. It was so magical. I squealed. Everybody that could hear me yelling that there's whales out there. So it was pretty exciting. Hey, Luis is here. Wonderful. So glad that you made it. Yeah, it was. It was a good time. Thank you. I just really had a great time just kind of, getting out there. And Cameron, my hubby, he's very outdoorsy. When we first met, we used to go hiking and backpacking and rock climbing and all of that. But after kids, we don't go as much. And so he got me out, and we went on a waterfall hike. So that was lovely. So yeah, I just feel kind of rejuvenated. And then I've been wanting to work on this piece for a while. I found a reference that I just loved, and I'll share the reference with you. And I had ideas for it, and I was like, I really want to make a piece, and I felt really inspired. So that felt good to want to get in the studio and do my own thing. Laura is here. Welcome, Laura. I'm so glad that you made it. Thank you. Thank you, Debbie. I really was intentional about taking some photos, because I kind of went through a stage where I didn't take photos at all for a while. So I'm really glad that I took some photos. Sandy's here. Welcome. Yeah, Paula, the whales were really cool. They were like, okay, so we were right at the ocean up high, and then the waves were coming in. So if you were walking on the beach, you wouldn't have been able to see them because they were right on the other side of the waves. And that was just really, really special. So I'm really grateful for that moment. All right. So this piece that I'm working on, I'll show you guys the reference so you can see. Let me get my thing taped up. So here is the reference photo that I have. And I've changed it a bit so you can see that. There's some reflection. There we go. But I've kind of, I always make it my own. And she's been a lot of fun, and I've had her in the queue of something I wanted to play with for a while. And would you say what for a whale? What for a whale? Expand on that. But yeah, the reference, so I just really enjoyed coming up with this piece where I'm, if you get to know me a little bit more, I'm obsessed with tattoos. I don't have any. I will get one. Thinking about getting matching ones with my husband or something, just something small to get started. But I love putting tattoos on women, and I have for some time. And my girlfriend got one with a swallow on her arm. And so this one was kind of the idea for that. And then these poppies, I'm working on blending them in to her skin values to make them look like they're actually on her skin and not like she's holding a bouquet of poppies. So that's where I'm at with that. So if you saw my my reel or my short or in my stories today, kind of advertising for this live, I was working on getting the poppies to be the same values. So that's the one thing, because if they're brighter and a little bit separated, they'll look like she's holding a bouquet. So that's what I'm working at there. And I'm going to talk about a few things I'm working on with this piece. And then I thought you guys could vote on which one I could start with first. I thought that would be kind of fun. Let's see here. Oh my gosh, Laura, I forgot you had tattoos. I really want a sleeve, but I have to start small. Plus I'm getting older and I'm wondering if my skin would even handle all that stuff. But oh, I can't wait to meet you. The retreat for September is coming up. There's a few spots left. So if you're interested, go to my website. And we're going to be meeting in this gorgeous place in Connecticut. Laura is going to be there. We have a few people that are going to be there. I think Pat's here today too. She is coming to the retreat. And there's another person that comes to live. She's not here right now, but maybe she'll pop in later. I'm excited to meet all of you in person. That's going to be so much fun to just paint in person and just hang out. I'm on the countdown. Yeah, how many days is it, right, Laura? Thank you, Francine. I'm so glad you made it today. Lovely to have a lot of you here today. This is wonderful. So glad. I missed you guys. You know, it's good to take time and recharge, and, you know, we got to have that kind of quiet time. And I'm learning it's part of creativity. That was the quote in today's newsletter, was it's part of the process, is to recharge and get out and balance work-life balance. So that's what I'm trying to do more of. Let's see. Thank you for the comment on the hands. I'm going to keep the hands kind of low-key because I'm not super strong at doing hands. So I'm going to keep those kind of a little bit simplified and not go into, you know, too much detail. Oh, 32 days. Oh, I'm excited. That's going to be fun. Can't wait. Okay, so I talked about the poppies. So the one thing that I want to do is when I started her hair, my intention was that her hair was going to be feathers, then they would mold into hair. And I'm always trying to like do things different and go outside the box. But up here, you know, she started, I changed in here, but you didn't get to see this, but she kind of looks like she's got a shag going on, like a shag mullet thing. Not that it's bad. Not that mullets are bad or anything. But right here, I want to smooth out a little bit. I do like the texture, but I always end up blocking in. Paula she mentioned in my stories that, you know, it's probably just the blocking in stage or on the post. And that's true. So I want to smooth this out a little bit into a flow, but right here, I'm thinking of adding one of these feathers, a larger feather here. So that would require erasing and a change. So that's choice number one to work on for the live. And then the other choice is the arm sleeve. I can work on that tattoo. And then the other one I'm going to work on is the skin, is bringing the skins into the values. So we're going to have the hair, the arm sleeve, and the skin. And I'll probably touch on all of them, but you're voting on what we're going to start with. So you're guaranteed to see that part because I don't know how it'll all go. So I'm going to do a poll here for those of you. We got almost 30 of you in here already. So we should have enough people to vote. Well, Anita, you wait, girl. You wait. We're going to have a poll. And the poll should pop up on everybody's screen, and then you can vote. And then that will determine which way we go here. So I am going to start that poll here real quick so you guys can be involved. So I'm going to just say, which part should I start first? All right, and then we're going to say the hair. I'm going to do a change. And then we're going to do the sleeve tattoo. And then we're going to do working on her skin tone. All right. So I'm starting that poll. And then you guys get to vote here while I fill you guys in on a couple more things. Louise says, Dawn, I just wanted to say the way you're breaking down the face in the latest lesson has been great. I am loving it. Oh, well then you must be talking about, Louise, the colors from within. I'm thinking, is that all of a sudden all the colors from within? So this is my latest Pastel Insider lesson, where we dive deep into bridging the world between abstract and whimsy and mark making, and we go into really breaking down the face and the development of her face. I even get into it's like contouring, you know. I don't know, I watch too many contour videos. Not that I'm a huge beauty person, but it was really funny. I had a great time. I'm really glad to hear, Louise, that you're enjoying that, that you're enjoying how I broke it down. So if you're interested in that, I will put the link. Well, the link should be, well, it's on my website, but I will put a link in too. And you guys can check that out if you're interested. I'll put that in there real quick. And I also have I'm going to be talking about the free new lesson I have too. We'll be talking about that. So here's that. So that's the Pastel Insider link. Let's see what Laura says. I hope it's okay to say this, Dawn, but I've been following you since your encaustic class with Ivy. I've literally gone through every post on your intro page and your faces have gotten great. Thank you. You know, I don't think I've ever done an encaustic class. I don't mean to, but I've never done an encaustic class with Ivy, but I did dabble in encaustics. My class with Ivy that I first did was Take Flight. I did that for their magazine, and then her and I went live and we did that together. And you know, speaking of Ivy Newport, I talk to her almost daily, even though she's in Portugal. And I'm going to do a little shout out because it's her birthday today. So I know she's probably not watching this live, but I'm going to tell her that we shouted her out for today. But I love her to pieces. We've been good friends. We've traveled all over together, and I'm just really, I miss her, but it's her birthday today. You were like a guest, I thought of hers. Yeah, I was a guest, and I did a live with her. We did PanPastel with that, but it was a lot of fun, Laura. I'm just really grateful you've been on the whole journey together with me. And that is just really great that our paths have crossed because of Ivy. Because without Ivy, I wouldn't be here doing probably what I'm doing today. So I wouldn't without her encouragement. Francine says, that insider lesson is amazing. It's so detailed with so much fabulous information to go over and over again. Well, thank you, Francine. I really appreciate that. I was very excited about all the colors within because I just really thought I did break it down this time where I feel like it might click for a lot of people. And I love getting feedback like that because, you know, the one thing of working here is doing what I'm doing is you don't get a lot of that feedback because you're basically, you know, doing it alone. So that's why I like these lives so much, because I get to connect with you. And it's really about connection for me of doing these lives each week. So I'm really grateful that all of you guys are here. And let's see, we got the poll. We got 53% right now are wanting the hair change. And that'll be fun to start out on. I'm excited about that. Oh, Laura, I'll tell her happy birthday if she doesn't get this. That's awesome. Well, the colors I'm using, I have quite a few different colors on here. You know, I'll talk a little bit about this before I close the poll, and then we're going to get started. I really, really love the vermilion, and I wanted to go off the poppies. And my biggest thing was playing with the light here because my reference had my light up here. And so I wanted to make it even more dramatic. And the poppies are what I'm playing off for color. And then you'll see in a lot of my lessons and classes, I bring the violets in or blues in for the cools to go into the shadow areas. I also used this one stick pastel. It's a deep, deep violet. We talked about it a couple weeks ago. This is the Dakota and Schminky teamed up, and this is the dark, dark violet that they have, and that is in my dark spots, plus I'm using black. But then I wanted to bring a lot of the warm neutrals in, so I have these dark oranges, the burnt siennas, the red iron oxide, which is really a beautiful orange red, and then I'm playing off with the vermilion. One of the new colors I'm popped in here, this is the primary magenta extra dark, which I thought this was really pretty going off into the hair. And then I'm using the chrome oxide green, and I just have them stacked on each other. And then you're just seeing this vermilion medium, that's just stacked on the white here, so we'll fix that up. All right, get your votes in. I'm gonna close the poll so I can get started painting. Christella says, oh, she's got a question. A couple of weeks ago, you mentioned retiring some classes. Can you elaborate? Is it possible to lose access to classes purchased? I bought a few ones and I haven't done. Actually, Christella, that's a great question. I was surprised so many of you were like, oh my gosh. I've had a few messages. I've reevaluated and I'm rewording what those classes are. Because now in my Pastel Insider membership, I have over 50 private exclusive lessons in the membership. But then I have another 20 that are hybrids, which there's a little bit on YouTube, and then there's a little bit, there's quite a bit behind the scenes. So I'm going to keep all those in there. I'm spending this week reorganizing some things. I have some announcements that's going to be in the Pastel Insider membership newsletter this week. And you're going to see that I'm updating the Getting Started guide. And so I'm just rewording and shuffling some things around. So no worries, you're not going to, and you would never lose access to any full paid classes that you bought separately from a membership. Those are lifetime. I hope that answers everything for you. Louise says, question for the new colors. I managed to get some vermilion, but it feels very different, like it's finer, almost more dry. Are you finding the same? I'm not, but I do notice that some of the colors, even older and new, they'll get a graininess to them. And sometimes I'll take a razor blade and take that top layer off. I have it happen to a couple of my colors, but it's not just the new colors. So I'm not sure about that. Yeah, especially when I can't see it in person. But I'm thinking that might be it. I don't know what it is. Something happens to a few of them, and I've had it happen to a couple. I think I have one up here, this one. My primary yellow, if you can see that texture, I think you can, yeah, right there, I got the angle. See that texture on that? That's not normal. And I just kind of work through it. It's just sometimes that I think it happens, and I don't know if that happened, if they even know. So it's something I definitely might want to share with them eventually. All right, I'm closing the poll, guys. Get your last vote in. We got 56%. Looks like the hair change is the winner. Was everyone able to see the poll up on their screen? I'm really curious about that. We have 18 votes and there's 30 of you here. So I'm really curious if everyone can see it up on their screens. Some of you might be on TV, so might not do that. But if you're on your phones or your tablet, it should show up. Okay. Yes, that's what mine looks like. Yeah, okay. Okay, Susan saw it. Okay. Well, maybe I should say, is there any of you that didn't see it up on your screen and you have a phone or a tablet? Tell me about that. I'm just curious. And then we're going to get started here. I'm on a TV and a phone and counted it twice. Wow, you got double votes, girl. Sten says he can see it. Okay, that's good. I'm glad all you guys could. Louise says, thanks for asking your question, Christella. I was wondering about that too. Phew. Well, I love that you guys care so much. I mean, we have quite a few of you that come to lives that are Pastel Insider members. I know a lot of you can't make it because of different times, but you guys watch the replays and everything. And so, yeah, I'm glad you guys care. So I think you're gonna like how things are restructuring a little bit. And you know, my membership is evolving. I had a woman reach out just recently and she asked me if I had a year-long membership that she could buy. And I'm like, you know, this membership's under a year old, it's evolving. At this time, it's month to month. And so you can try it out, see how you like it. There's no commitments or anything like that. So that's what's really great about the membership too. Can't vote on the TV, but might be counted as 2 viewers. Probably, Chrisella. All right, we're going to go into that hair change. I'm going to dive right into it. And I'm thinking, I'm going to I'll show you how I work around these things. I want to keep this. I love this. So I have to be cautious. Now, I already have this going on in here. So but I kind of like this flipping up. So I'm going to see what I can do here. And I'm going to go, maybe I'll tuck it in. And I'm thinking, that would work and it would tuck in both. I'm going to erase a little bit. So this is my favorite eraser, everyone. For those of you that are newer coming onto the live, it is my all-in-one. I thought I had a box here that I love to show, but it's my 4-in-1 Vanish eraser. Now down below I have a link that when I talk about supplies, everything is in my favorite list at Merry Artist, and you can save an additional 10% because I have a relationship with them. We've partnered up, and they have some of the best prices. And if you're in the US, they only ship US, but you can save an additional 10% by using coupon code DAWNVS. And they carry my erasers. I actually asked them to carry certain things. They carry the UART paper. I'm working on the UART 600 grade, and this is a 12 by 16, so you can see how big her face is. I like to work a little bigger, and you know, I'm going to be playing with her, softening her up. She's like Paula said, she's at the block-in stage, and so you can see how you can almost paint with an eraser by using this paper. So I like to, you know, carve out a little bit with these carbon pencils. It's the only non-pastel thing I really use. And I'm hem-hawing here if I want that feather to flare out where it's facing me, or do I want it to curve a little bit and the lines would go this way. I'm thinking about that. So I'm going to go like that. Now I have this little eraser. This is my favorite. It's a Tombow eraser, and it does little spots. So see how I'm going to make it like be where it's lying on its side? That's my goal here. And I'm going to sharpen this up with my M&R sharpener. It's my favorite go-to sharpener. I've tried multiple crank ones. I've tried electric ones, and I don't like how those eat up my product on the pencils, the pastel and things like that. I don't love that. So I'm going to go in here, and I'm going to put in just a few of the lines to kind of feel it out a little bit. And I like to put these lines in because they create a sense of depth on the lower layer, and you'll see that in some of my lessons and classes. So I'm almost thinking it should go this way. So it's good to kind of map it out too. I'm just getting kind of warmed up, but you can see this is how I work. I go back and forth and play. So I create a lot of structure in my initial layer, and then I spend the time when I get ideas breaking it down. And that's kind of my flow. So that's why I call like some of my, I'm calling like the retreat in Connecticut, I'm calling it from structure to abstract, because I'll take this structure and then we abstract it along the way. And I can do a lot of abstract, or I can do a little. So I'm thinking more that this is at this angle like that, see? And I might go over it, and then I can sit back and look at that and see if I like that. I could put some like circles in it. Maybe I want one to be in the middle of it. And this is how I just walk through and play with stuff. I'm not thinking, oh, I just drew that and I just wasted my time. It's not how I think. I am working through ideas and getting it to look the way I want. And I might pull that in a little bit. I don't need it to be perfect. I just wanted a few polka dots down there so they look a little bit like they're together. I don't know how I'm going to fully feel about it until I get it on there, so it could be something that I would change too. I just don't know. And that's the kind of spontaneity I really like in my process. I don't really love having it all mapped out. So now I'm going to think that we're really close to the light here. And I might go with this vermilion light right away in here. And I might even get a lighter wand because I'm working with the light. So I got a lighter wand here. And with a dark paper, you really need to claim your whites. And you can see I'm already going over the black lines because I've decided to put polka dots in there. And I'm just kind of carving it out. And I'm thinking the orange and then I know a chat just came up. I will catch up here in just a sec. I might have to put more color in that. It looks pretty skin toned right now. Let me see. Oh, Dawn, have you checked out the sticky back UArt yet? Actually, I'm talking to UArt right now. So I'm figuring out if we might do some type of collaboration together. We're chatting and she mentioned about maybe sending me some of those. So I haven't played with it yet. But what I'm really excited about with the UArt is the new sticky is that it saves me a step, and they already have adhesive on it on that side, which I could do on my own, but I think it would be nice if it was like already ingrained in it and not put on after, in the sense. I'm curious to see what the water media would be like on it, and then to do the water media as my underpainting, which you guys have seen me do, and then go stick it and mount it after I have the water media done, that layer. So I think that would be a lot of fun, and I'm really excited about it. Luis, I want to order some of that. I prepped 9x12 board over the weekend that I trimmed into 2 5x7s. Wasn't too bad, but everything was pre-size, so there was no room for error. Yeah. I knew UArt curled, but I didn't realize it actually comes curled no matter how long you've had the pad and how flat it looks before you open it. It does curl a little bit. I used to use the sheets, but I don't use the sheets anymore. I have all of mine in rolls. It comes in a big roll. So for me, I am having to take it off, and that's why I mount it right away. Is if I didn't mount it right away, then I would be having to deal with it being curled, and that would drive me crazy. So I'm debating if I would prefer the feather to not have dots on it. I don't know if I love it. So when I feel this way, I'll just kind of move ahead and work through it, and then I could go back and play with that later. So I'm going to use a darker wand, and I can always change it. But sometimes I really want to see how it will look before I decide to change it too much. Adding some of that vermilion. And I'll be able to go over it too with pencils, because this is really just that kind of block in stage. A little bit of red here. I think I'm going to sit with it, because I really think if I go in with the orange, I think this one would really hit it. Let's see. Okay, I'm thinking the next, I'll be loosening up this hair a little bit, but let's see what. The pencils just really help you get into things a little bit more detailed, and it cleans up things along the way. Looks like I moved that a little bit. I have a vermilion. This is, well, this was the orange. So this was the 221, and this is just straight up orange. This one is the vermilion, which I'm pretty sure it's the 305. I've just worn off the thing here, and I can see how I feel about that. I can even put some lines in there, so like they're feathers, and sit with that for a little bit and see how it feels. Because I don't want it to be all like refined and perfect. I want the hair to be a little bit loose. Let's see. I will have to rewatch that. I lost my internet. Oh, I'm sorry, Louise. Hey, Lynn, welcome. So glad that you made it here. Thank you. This is a piece I've just been working on my own. And I wanted to, you know, I'm thinking some of these lives will be a little bit of peeks inside of what I work on in my own time when I'm not doing lessons. And I think that'd be a lot of fun. So I thought, why not? I had this going, and I was kind of at that spot where I felt good about sharing it. It made it through the uncomfortable stage, which you know, most people call the ugly stage, but I've coined it. We got to go a little more positive, that it's the uncomfortable stage is what I really like calling it. So I'm going to go in and smooth out. So let's look at this hair part right there. And it's got a lot of texture there. And, you know, I don't know. I might regret smoothing it out a little bit. I might not. Those are the chances we kind of got to take a little. So I'm trying to think of how this is going in. I'm just going to smooth out a couple of these and go slow so I can see how it feels. And so that's the first one, but I definitely think these guys in here. Now you can see how they're going dull, but that's okay, because I got enough layering capability in here that I can bring that out. And it will move around on the UArt. So there, I've smoothed quite a bit of it out right there. And then I'm going to get rid of, I think, some of these on the top. Now I don't want that red to kind of blend in. Let's see what that's like. And I will put some of this back into the background. And I had some raw umber, which is a great neutral. Oh, where do I want to put that? I'll put it over my black right now, because I'm not really utilizing that. So you can see how we can really smooth things out. And I'll smooth down this one. And I want to put that orange back on the edge there, because I want the light to look like it's behind her head and it's coming out. So what are you guys all working on? Anybody got any projects going on, or how is everybody? I feel like it's just been so long, and it hasn't really been that long. So we can calm this down back and forth a little bit, but I have to get it in there before I can push it down and then pull back up. So I'm going to step back, and I think I like that better. Like, it's just a little bit of subtlety. Now I'm going to see here if I have, yeah, I do. So I'm going to show you guys where she was. I can go down here. So you can see how the hair was. It looks a little bit different on the screen because I'm having to tilt it and the colors are a little different, but you can see how it has smoothed her hair down a bit. I actually think these look more like feathers, just giving them their own moment instead of having it be so rough. And so that's what I'm working through on her hair. And at this point, I really like the new feather in there, and then I can play with bringing the light out in these ones that are angled in a really fun way. So that's where we're at right there. It's kind of, I can't express it enough. I do it a lot in my lessons, so those that have taken them will attest that taking photos of your work is probably the biggest tip I can give you, and do it regularly. I will take a photo of something that's not sitting right with me, and I'll sleep on it for a whole night. And a lot of times it's just because I'm not used to it, and I haven't really processed it yet. And then I'll be like, you know what, it's fine. And I've learned to just let things be a little bit and move through the painting by taking a lot of photos that way. And it really helps me just really see things in a different perspective. So like right now I have my monitor up, and I can see on my monitor like it is a photograph. So that really helps me because my little screen where chat is just too little. And so I find that that is probably the biggest tip I can give you guys, that if you do that more often, and then you can also switch to values. So I'm going to show you that really quick because I have that up because I was working with it. So I'm going to show you. So I have this one. I don't know why the colors are so weird on the screen, but we're just going to go with it. So I have this initial one that I did, and I was trying to figure out, I'm going to blow it up, why her poppies look like she was holding them. And at first I was just like, I spent hours in the studio, so I was a little too close to it. And so then what I did was I blew it up. And then what you're going to see, there's the things out. So the reason why they're popping is because the values are different. So that's why I got the values. I started, you know, merging those a little bit and putting the poppies into her skin so they look like tattoos. And so I got a little carried away with brush strokes, and that is why they're now kind of popping. And you can see here, I've pushed this section back because I did this, see? So this can be really helpful in understanding your light. And that's what I'm trying to teach you guys in the classes, is that it's really all about, well, why don't you guys tell me, what do you think is the most important thing in this piece that I'm going to say it's all about? Let's see if you guys can guess. I know there's a few of you out there that are going to be guessing it right away. What am I teaching a lot about that is your superpower? There, I give you a hint. Let's see. No, I think you could work on that, Luis, the paper, the UArt, without mounting it first. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do wet media on it. If you know you're not going to do wet media on it, then I would mount it first. If you're going to do wet media on it, then as an underpainting, then I would wait to mount it so it gets rid of wrinkles. So that's the decision on if you mount it or not mount it first. Oh wait, Peg, I finished the 3 small abstracts in frame. I know you did amazing with that, Peg. That turned out awesome with the mini abstracts. So I think that class, what did I call it? I called it, I can't think of the name of it all of a sudden. Composition, colorful composition. And I did 3 mini abstracts. And I took you on a journey between the different compositions, and they were cruciform, circle, and grid. So you did amazing with that, by the way. Bravo to you. Oh, Susan's here. This morning I posted a small version of the All Colors lesson in the Color Combo Weekly, thinking about doing the free mushroom class and this week's color combo colors. Awesome, Suzanne. Susan's got it. Value. Yes. So the value is what is your superpower. If you want to focus on one fundamental that will really level your art up, it's value. I talk about it in almost every class, every lesson, on almost every live. So I give you guys a free value strip and everything in the free lesson that I'm going to promote here. This seems like a good moment for that. And then I'll move on. I think I'm going to leave her hair where it's at. I might do a little bit more hair. I'm going to move on to her arm here in just a second. Anne says, hello. I'm working on your cosmic creation class, finishing up the fox. I'm working on finding my whimsy. Haha. I tend to lean towards tight, so loosening up is a great lesson. I think you're teaching to just go with it. Yeah, you know, Anne, how many have you done? How many paintings have you done? Really keep that in mind. If these are your first and this is your cosmic creation class is like your first, you know, couple there or few, it takes time to get that whimsy in. And a lot of the whimsy happens in the lower layers. So remember that. You can't really put the whimsy in at the end. It goes in the lower layers, and if you're watching those lessons, you're going to definitely see me do that as it goes along in those under layers. So I'm excited for you. I hope you'll share them in our Facebook group. And yeah, so I'm going to talk real quick. I'm going to get a drink of water. All right, I have released, and I haven't really fully promoted it yet, my free PanPastel lesson. This is an intro to PanPastel. It will tell you everything you need to know to get started. I give you a mini getting started guide. It's like a mini like worksheet that goes through everything you need to go, list everything. And I'm only doing like 5 colors. So this is a wonderful getting started point. Like I went in with that intention. So if you sign up and subscribe to my newsletter, you'll get a link in your welcome newsletter to then join the free library. No money, no credit card required. It's free, and there's a lot of other goodies in there too, but we're going forward with this one. And this is the main lesson that's at the top right now. So it's called Enchanted Mushroom, an introduction to PanPastel. So I hope you'll check it out. I'm going to put the link in here real quick. And you guys can, those of you who are on the fence that haven't tried PanPastel yet, or you're thinking about it, even go watch it. Go watch what a lesson's like. Go see what it is. And I always suggest for people to watch it first, and you can check it out and see if it might be for you. It's just, I find that people have pastels laying around, PanPastel specifically. That's what this class is about. And they don't know what to do with it. And so I am here to be your guide. So here is the link for this. I'm going to pin this one. And if you guys want to check it out, it's definitely worth it. If you're already a subscriber, you need to go, I put the link in every newsletter that I send out. And you just need to go and join the area because it's a separate area inside my website. So I hope you guys will check that out. All right, we got quite a few of you here. Welcome, everyone. If you're new here, please introduce yourselves. I'd love to know where you're from, what you guys are up to, what you're working on. This is for me to connect with all of you. It's a great time. If you have questions about anything, I'm open to all of your questions. I'm trying to see if there's anything else I missed or anything. Okay. So I think I answered all your guys' questions. All right. So I'm going to do a couple more things with her hair here, and then I'm going to move down into work on her arm and see where if I can bring the arm up, the details into the arm a little bit. So when you're working with hair, you really want to have some value shifts. And hair used to really overwhelm me. And then once I realized it was about leaving some darks and bringing out the lights, then I realized, oh my goodness, I think I understand it now. And I have a lot of lessons on hair. And I even have a full live stream dedicated to hair. So that's about, I think it's about 2 months ago, if you're looking into wanting to know more about hair. Now with this spot right here, I'm keeping the hair a little chunkier, and I'm debating on what I want to do for here. I got this coming out right there. I'm thinking about linking that. So I'm going to link that right there. There we go. And I'm going to bring up the forehead a tad because it looks like her forehead's going in. And that's a real easy thing to do. So the one big lesson I do for value, if I can find my little guy here, and I talk about it all the time, and this is a great example of a teaching moment for this. So see how her forehead is darker right there? So it looks like she's kind of got a dent in her head, like it's going in. And that's why I use this trusty little value strip. And it's going over your highlights, your midtones, and your shadows. And what we're doing here is, think of it as a whole bunch of planes or a whole bunch of layers. And you're creating on every plane to create a 3D object. And that 3D and that shape, you need to use value to create the shape. So I need to bring this value up because it's going to bring it forward. So the lighter the value, the more forward for most of the laws of value, they'll come forward. The darker, it's going to push it back. So I pushed it back maybe a little too far right there. So I'm going to find like a mid value like this. Right here, my burnt sienna. I have a burnt sienna shade too, and my burnt sienna. And I'm going to bring up her forehead a little bit. And I'm going to use a little bit more of the lighter. And then I'm going to have to go into both of these. And I'm going to use the shade because what that does is it dulls it down. I don't want it to be as orange as the core burnt sienna is at its perfect chroma. So chroma, if you don't know, is the peak of its pigment. And that's why PanPastel chooses its core colors. Those core colors are the colors in the color family, which I talk about in my beginner lesson. I go all in about how PanPastel is structured and everything. But that core color has the most pigment in it. And so if you don't want that much, color or chroma in there, you want to dull it down by using like a shade or, a step up from the core, things like that. So you can see right now we've smoothed that out a little bit, and I'm actually quite pleased with how that looks. I'm going to do up here real quick. I'm going to go a little bit with the red iron oxide up here, and then I can layer on. And then I'm going to take this orange with a little bit of shade, and I'm going to separate this one out. Like they're two separates, like so it goes into this. We'll see. I don't want that to be too chunky, so I'm going to leave that right there, and then I can clean up right here with the vermilion. So it's a little bit of a dance. So I can go in and put those lines back in. I have a lot of freedom for that. And then I'm going to bring out this little highlight here. I'm going to try using some white on here with some orange. And you know, in the sunlight, hair starts to disappear. It disappears a bit when it's got its full light on it. So that's what I'm trying to do, is I got to bring up some of these because they're in full light. See how I did that? And then I can use white to bring up that value. All right, that's feeling really like it's really lit. The spot right here I want to touch on. This has black in it. Now, if it was in the light, you're not going to see that black. So I'll have to play with that and go back and forth a little bit. And that's going to, you know, continue that glow up from the source. And I can play with that. All right, let me check here. Oh, did I lose my sound? Oh, okay. Refreshing, refreshing. Okay, good. Awesome. All right, I think I got everything answered there. We got that pinned. So now I'm going to go into the arm and work on that for a little bit. I think I'm okay with this being chunky where it's at right now. The other thing I'll be, you know, going into, which I can come back to, is taking some of this pencil, and you can put some strands in there. So I'll work on that too, and that will bring out some of the hair, like especially even right here. I can't help myself. I'm just going to do it. Okay. All right. So now you can see how the arm tattoo looks like it's on there. And that's because all of the values pretty much match up. Like, I'm going to show you that on the reference here. So you can see my values are pretty good there. I can bring up the bird and everything to match the arm value because the shadow doesn't go until down there. So that's what I'm going to play with. All right. Now, how many of you in the group have tattoos? Any of you? I know Laura's got a tattoo. So how many of you got a tattoo? I mean, I could probably do a poll for that. That would be kind of fun. Let's do a poll. That'd be fun. We'll do a tattoo. Okay, so I'm doing, yes, I have one or more, not yet, and no way. Let's see what you guys do. Here it goes. All right, you guys can vote in your poll. Tell me about your tattoos. And I'm really curious. There's got to be some of you out there. Okay, I'm going to work on the arm here. Now the arm is in a bit of shadow. My reference image, I mean, it's got it kind of lower in the light, but I have to play a little balance here because the arm can be a little tricky, and that's the challenge with all of this, is keeping the values kind of lower. So with that said, I have the ultramarine. This is the chrome oxide. I'm going to just put this in here because I don't think I'm going to use any of the chrome oxide, but I do need some of the blue. So I have the ultramarine blue, and I'm going to pull out some of my dark, like maybe the shade. And if I didn't want to pull out the shade or the extra dark, then I could just add black to it. But I'm not going to use a lot of these warm colors, so I'm not right now. So I can put the family in here. Now, the new part of the family that I have is the light. I don't know if this one's called light or medium. Let me double check. It's called medium. Some of them are called medium and some of them are called light, which I don't fully understand that yet, but I'm researching it. All right, so with that, I can get this bird brought up a little bit, but I'm going into the lower values because I don't want to have to bring it up too much. And I'm using the edge of my wand here. And I don't really necessarily want the bird to be too detailed, but I do want it to look like it is a tattoo. And I'm going to have to work on this eye. And do I want an eye fleck or not? That's something I always have to test out. And it's always surprising how bright things are. I'll use this 704. I always suggest for people starting out is to really start out with that Carbothello pastel set of 48 if you can afford them. If you can afford a bigger set for that, you're basically just paying for more grays and a few more pencils, but I love the 48 set. This is a 704. And like this can be pretty bright. I was going to try to like add a little bit of circle around an eye. I could probably go back and forth because I can't really get it in without putting it in kind of harsh. And then I could go in with a black and push it out. And that's the thing, is you want to go back and forth lightly so you can get some things, and then I can tap it down here. Okay, I'm really curious about your tattoos, guys. Okay, now I can go even with that darker value. And I mean, if you're looking at the value scale, it's pretty much a 4 on the value, in between a 4 and a 5. So you're in your mid-tones, and it shows up like a white. It's kind of crazy. So I don't know how much I want. I don't really want that to show a ton. I can use a higher value. It's a 700, and tone it down if I end up wanting to. Now the beak, I'm going to have to go with like some darker browns or something. I have this 610, which is a raw umber. Can go in with my darks first and then use something lighter to bring the beak out. I could even use some purples. Now purples are some of the most challenging colors to get for pencils. So I will buy almost any pencil that's purple. Violets, purples, magentas. They're more of the rare pencils in the line. I have a few favorites. This one, the dioxide purple, it's the 280. I use this a lot for my shadowing. And then I have this, that's a Derwent, and then this is a plum, and this is a 105. And so I'm just going to hit the beak with that, and I might hit the chest with it. And then I can bring that up. Let me see what questions you have. Okay. Oh, we got some. Oh, I didn't have the option of covered. Oh my goodness. Well, I can't wait to see your tattoos. That's awesome. Ha! Well, you got one or more. You're probably in the top 1%. So I kind of want this chest to go into the blues and into the lavender. So I can pull a lavender that's a little bit brighter. Well, it's violet. So I'm going to pop the violet on top of the violet light here. And then I can bring the chest. Now I'm trying to keep these colors in the darker values here. And then I have this magenta, permanent magenta, that I can mix in there. trying to think here. Maybe I'll put that on the edge. It's hard to get the little division of everything, which I can come back with a little bit of black later. So I'm trying to load my edges to get edges on here. And this guy's a little small, so I'm going to go a little brighter on a couple spots because I know I'm going to bring the arm up a little bit in value. We got 44% says not yet. I wonder what it says when I click on it. 22% has yes, I have one or more. And 33% is a no way. I love that. Well, I'm going to live through her right now with my tattoos. Okay. So I'm really consciously trying to stay in these darks. And it's not easy. And I don't want it to be too detailed, so I'm okay with that. So I'm going to go in and get some of the branches taken care of. Now my favorite pencil for that is, I use it a lot, it's this 585 and it's the olive green. And I'm just going to use the paper here a little bit too, not try to go too much on that one. And so if I did bring it up too much, I'll use my shadow pencil to push it back. I want to keep that underneath there shadowed a bit. And I'm going to come back with my shadow pencil and push this down a bit, but I want to have that saturation in there. Okay, it's getting there. I feel like it still needs some value shifting. I have this blue, it's 145. I want to see, yeah, it's too much of a match for the top there. But like if I want to use my pencils, if I didn't want to go into the color, this will pop up some of the color, and I'm okay because it is a tattoo and the birds do have some value shift, but I just got to make sure it stays in the skin a certain way, I think. So I'm going to play with that. With the ultramarine. Now the ultramarine is a complementary of all the orange and the vermilions in there too. I think I'm going to pull up some of the top of this wing here. And then I can push the neck back a little bit with the black. All right, so I'm going to bring in some of the violet. Now I'm going to go one step up, and I might bring some of the brighter magenta in there. I have this new permanent magenta that I'm playing with, but I'm going to keep it into the shade. So I have the darker one here. I'm just going to put it over the red. I'm just stacking away here. I got 3 stacks of the violet. And I'm going to mix it in between these two. don't know why I've been so fascinated with it. I think it's because to me, you know, when I grew up, my mom was always like, don't do anything you can't, you know, when you're 90 that you're, you know, gonna regret. I'm like, oh my God, made me overthink it too much. I don't know. Oh, that reminds me, you guys, Karen, excuse me, Karen, you guys all know, a lot of you know her. She's doing good. She just couldn't make it today, and she wanted me to tell everyone because she's turning, I think, 83 in September 3rd. So I got to see what day that lands on. But she messaged me, and she was like, I'm not going to be there today. Tell everyone I said hi. She's going to watch the replay. So hello, Karen. So I'm just getting some flowers in here built up, using that magenta. Put a little bit into the bird here. So now I think I have to really play with that skin around it, kind of close it in a little bit, and then I can work on the stems. Let's see if you guys have any questions. Okay. I said, no way, my skin is like tissue paper. I have considered permanent eyeliner. Oh, that would be nice. I think the eyebrows would be nice too. You must have a high pain threshold. I think we're talking about Laura. I'd like to have my eyebrows done. They've been doing some really cool things with eyebrows. I think if you find the right people, it looks so cool. And I think they even have something that's semi-permanent that lasts for like a year or something and then eventually fades. And it's like microblading or something. Let's see, I have 2 lips and eyes, and let me tell you, it hurts. The only place that hurt more was my elbow, and I have the tops of my feet done. Oh, wow. The longest I've been able to sit nonstop was 8 hours. Wow, Laura. Holy cow. That would work for me too, Debbie. You can't even see them anymore due to gray and sparse. Yeah, the eyebrows are first to go. I'm penciling mine in too. Let's see. Lynn, by the way, that's my middle name. Is Chicken your middle name, Debbie? Oh, Laura, you're tough. I know she is tough. Yeah, getting old isn't for the sissies. I'm going to be 70 in January. Oh, wow. You guys are amazing. Oh, Michelle's here. Good morning, Michelle. So glad that you made it here. Oh, I'm so glad that you're here. Oh, thank you. That's awesome. I'm so glad you made it. Hi, Steve. You made it too. Awesome. So glad you made it, Steve. Debbie says, I wish I knew how to do my own framing. It costs a fortune to have it done around here. Steve says, I found a shop in Portland that does frame kits. Let me guess, is it I've Been Framed? I go to I've Been Framed all the time. That's who I get all my framing done by. Yeah, no kidding. 83. I think she said 83 in the email. Laura doesn't regret any of her tattoos. I think that's amazing. Yeah, her birthday is like September 3rd, so it's coming up. Okay, you guys are all talking about pastels now. I'm going to work on her arm. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to play. I'm looking at the bird. There's some things I'm not loving about it. I'm going to play with that. It's just going to take a little bit of time. And I'm going to probably tone down the magenta in here because it looks like its face is part of a flower. And I'm going to have to play with the face and the head a little bit because it looks a little cartoony for me. So I'll play with that. And I might have to bring in some of the feathers. Yeah, you know, a few things, just a few. So I'm going to go in with this red iron oxide just right here in with the flower. And I don't have to stay in the original lines I put. I can put, you know, I'm using those for guides. I'm not stuck with it. They're there to help me along the way. And then I can start bringing the skin tones. Let's see here, I gotta grab one for skin tones. I know I have a few of these covered up. some of my important skin tones. Let's see here. All right. She's got probably the most skin I've ever done. And I took on the challenge because I was like, I've always wanted to do more of a body and not just a head. I do the head a lot. It's safe. And so when I saw this reference piece, I was like, I'm taking it on. I have an idea. So I want her arm to go into shadow a little bit, but I also need to bring it up a bit. Just takes patience to get through. You just got to break it down like I do in the lessons. I really break down the skin, the face, you know, how we all got to do, because if you break a piece down, it's way less overwhelming. So that's my goal when I'm even working on it myself. And to take breaks, because, you know, these pieces take a long time. But you can see how I'm slowly bringing out the skin, and so it's going to level up with the tattoo. And then this goes into shade, so I gotta be aware of that. Let's see. Did I miss somebody? There's Alan. Wow, where's Alan? Let's see here. How did I miss Alan? I don't see him. Okay, I'm scrolling back down. Oh, maybe you're seeing something I don't. It says, hi, Alan, welcome to the lives. Haha, I dare say he will be sleeping shortly, a 12-hour night shift. Michelle, tell him to grab a chair and hang around. Oh, wait. Oh, here we go. Dawn, my other half, is listening to you. He says hello. He just got home from a night shift. His name is Alan. Okay. And he was like, she didn't say hello to me. Well, hi, Alan. Welcome. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. Oh, I'm so glad that you're here. Hello. I'm so excited that you made it. That's so cool. You both are watching. Oh, that's awesome. Welcome, welcome. Now, Alan, do you have any tattoos? I mean, Michelle, do you got tattoos, Michelle? I don't know. You said, did you go in on that when we were voting? We were asking if you guys got tattoos. That's what we're asking. We have our poll that was one or more, no way, or not yet. So you got to vote. I'm going to end the poll here. We have 46% are like, no way. That's crazy. That's kind of cool. Well, yes, I got it now, Debbie. I was a little behind there. You see, I got into the painting. That's what happens. Well, Alan, we love Michelle. We're so glad that she comes to the live. She's amazing. She cheers everyone on to, you know, for people to participate and like the posts. And okay, I'm getting that arm up. I'm backing up, but you can see how it's already coming up, and I still think it looks tattoo. I might have to push, like, see down here, I'll add black, and then I can push this back into the shadow just a little bit, see? So I'm going to push some of this back. And if I just tap it, it won't go too much because the tattoo is in the shadow. All right. I do, and Alan does as well. We got them on the same day over 30 years ago. Oh, I love that. 12-hour shifts is a lot. I don't think I could do that. I don't think I could do that. All right, so I feel like I'm getting this arm pretty good in here. I'm gonna get down here, cleaned up a little bit. You guys are so sweet to come and join me and be in my space here today. I'm really happy that you guys are all here. Even having new people that haven't been here before, welcome to all of you. So really it's all about layering and being patient with that part. So I think I need to darken this right here. I'm looking through my camera. And you can see how I'm having to push and pull that because I don't want them to hang out on there. Oh, Born Again Farm Girl. I'm bummed for being late. Well, you can watch the replay. Welcome. So glad that you're here. Ah, Michelle, there you are. You're so sweet. If all of you right now, there is 36 of you in here. It could be, there's like between 30 and 36 of you in here now. You can all just like this post. That would help me a ton, and it's totally free. So I would really appreciate that. Yeah, I'll totally show the reference photo again. Yeah, she's getting there. I am making her arm a little darker, but that's what I'm working with. And I'm trying to think, if I put it up here, you can kind of see a little bit. The window behind is my, there we go. So you can kind of see where I'm working. So, you know, I change them quite a bit. What I'm mostly using her for is for her form and for the structure of her, you know, arms and legs and everything, and then the values. That's what I'm really after, and that's what drew me to the piece. But you can see her face looks a little bit different and all of that, because no matter if you take line art that I've given you, you've transferred it or whatever, it's going to be you in its own level. So you can trace something exactly and then go try to paint it, and it's going to have its own form along the way. And that's what I keep trying to tell people. And let's see. I hit the button, did you? Luckily, it was only for the last night and back to day shift tomorrow, but I slept so much better without his snoring. Oh, Alan, we're so sorry. Oh my gosh. Paula says, thank you for demonstrating painting within a shadow area. That can be tough. Yeah, it is a little tricky. And I've been learning that you just have to bring something up and then you have to push it back, and you might have to go back and forth because it is tricky. So you can see how I just pushed that back, and just the subtle moment. So like right here, for instance, that looks like it's coming off her arm. So I have to fix that. See right there how that looks like it's coming off her arm. So I'm going to play with that. And number one, it doesn't have a lot of division between the fern or the floral tattoo, or foliage, I guess is what I would call it, is foliage. So I'm going to divide that right now. And I'm going to use my, this is, you know, I only have like 3 Derwent pencils because I bought all my sets before going into Derwent. And because I always used to love like the Inktense and all the Derwent products, but they are really light, which I find interesting. They have a great, I like their tones and their colors and everything, but I don't have them all because my first set was the Carbothello, which I suggest to everybody because it's just a great value, high quality. All of the ones I use I feel like are really high quality. And then I went and bought the Pitt pencil set because I love Pitt, because Pitt pencils have a little bit more earthiness to them, and the Carbothellos are a little bit more high key. They're what I would say like a Japanese colors. They're more bold. And then the Caran d'Ache, well, the 2 I mentioned before, the Pitt pencils and the Carbothello, they're like a real medium hardness. They're perfect. They kind of go in both worlds. And you don't want hard pencils because you're putting them on top of your layers and they'll just scratch in. And that's the difference between a high quality pencil and a low quality pencil, is they have more binder in them when they're really hard like that. So then I bought the Caran d'Ache. That's what these are. And they are super soft. So they work really well with this pencil sharpener, the M&R, or an X-Acto blade, because their tips will break really easy because they are the softest. They're like having a schminky stick. They're super, super soft. So that's why I just haven't really used a lot of Derwent, but this is my favorite because it's a purple and you want to get all the purples you can. And this is the dioxide purple and it's the 280. So I'm going to use this in here and you're going to see I need to create a division because right now they're blending in right here. So I'm going to go in here and it's going to help shadow that a little bit. And I can carry that shadow because this is a dark pencil and really hit all of these spots. And then that's going to create a uniform shadow. Now you can look, the shadow, they're separated now. You see that? And then I can go take my black and just tap it. I'm just loading it really lightly there. And I'm going to tap that in. Now, if we were listening about the values of how they go, it's a perfect example of your planes of existence here. We're on our planes of existence. And I'm pushing it back. So this leg is farther back than the arm, obviously. But when you're painting, you lose sight of that really easily because you're overwhelmed with color and making it look right and all of this stuff. So what you want to do is think about where it is on that value, and it's pushed back farther than the arm. So I know I want it darker than the arm. So I'm tapping that back. And it's hard because you're going, oh, well, I'm losing my image. But if you're realistic, it's in shadow. So now you can see how it's pushed. So see right here, this is our last part that's a little up on there. And actually in my reference, this is shadowed to about like right there. But I'm just going to tap this back and you're going to see how it's going to push it all back now. It's like magic. Magic is happening. Stay where you are. This is magic. I call this magic. I think this is really magical. Magical moment, folks. Magical moment. It's getting pushed back. And I'm just tapping it because it's already in that layer. And I'm playing. I know those layers and how they're in relationship with each other. And I'm just kind of being gentle with it. And I'm putting both of those in the shadow here. Now, even if it goes a little too far, I'm okay with that. Because what I can do is I can go back and forth here and create that transition. Now, as I talk about in my free lesson that all of you guys, if you haven't gone and signed up for yet, the link is linked to the top, pinned to the top. I talk about how, you know, PanPastel is structured and how to use it in really good detail of, you know, how black is really important and how it's part of the system. So now I can load the side and now that's all pushed back. So see how her arms curve now? And now I'll be working on right here. See, this shadow has to drop off because her arm is rested. See how this is too bright right there? So I'm going to keep playing, but I worked on this, and now that looks like magic happened, right? All right, let's see here. Louise. Oh, Jonas is here. Welcome, Jonas. Hi, so glad you made it here this week. Okay, I'm missing something. Dawn. Oh, will you show the reference? And then you said, it's beautiful. I just thought her muscle tone was lacking in her upper right arm. Yeah, I haven't worked on any of the arms and stuff. Those are all just blocked in. So what you're seeing right here is me getting a little bit more on the next layer I'm working. So none of this is finished. I'd say her face is pretty close. Still have work on another layer. Her hair has another layer. She pretty much has another layer on her, and plus pencils. So you're seeing her right after being blocked in. And blocked in is basically using the color and the values to map out where I want to go with everything to a certain degree. And that's where she's at. So you're not really seeing a finished piece. And if I work on this on my own, I'll definitely come back, especially if you guys remind me, and show you her finished. But I also post all my finished pieces on Instagram. So that'll be a great way to see her too. I'm gonna get a drink of water here real quick while I read your messages. Oh no, Luis. Oh, 12 of them. That's a lot of pencils to misplace. They're probably, you know what, there's a big joke in my house about everything being it's a safe place. Dawn's put it in the safe place again. You ask Cameron. I got a lot of things in safe places. It's awful. I cannot put jewelry in safe places anymore. It's brutal. I'm missing my labradorite ring right now because I put it in a safe place. It's just awful. And we can blame it on like, oh, my mind, you know, whatever. But I try to be gentle and say I just put it in a safe place. Oh my God, I drank this whole water. What is going on? Thank you, Blue Daisy. You're new here in chat. Welcome. Thank you, Born Again Farm Girl. It's magic, she says. I love that. Welcome. Where are you from, Farm Girl and Daisy? Where are you guys from? I know. I can't stand it when I can't find anything either. Oh, Farm Girl has signed up. Did you sign up for the free library? That's awesome. The free, we're talking about this, guys. I have a brand new, well, I reworked this, but it is a free enchanted mushroom, and it's an intro to PanPastel. It's got everything you need to get started. It's not overwhelming, and it's easy. So the link is pinned to the top of this post. Definitely sign up for my newsletter, and you'll get a welcome newsletter with a link to join that library area. Let's see. What's the name of the piece? Oh, I don't have a name yet. I'm lost in the process. So I'm always open for name suggestions, but I'll be really curious because I feel really connected to this one because it's a personal piece. It's not for a lesson, at least not yet. And so I don't know. I don't know. I feel there's a big transition going on in my life, so it'll be interesting. Is portrait painting like a puzzle? You have to find the colors and paint it in the right places to reveal the person. Ooh, I love that, Jonas. I think it's co-creating with your inner being and what the painting wants it to say and you want it to say. I kind of consider that you're in a co-creation with that of your highest self. That's what I love to kind of think myself. Don't know if any of you other relate to that. I even went through the entire 60. Oh my gosh, and ticked them off, you poor thing. I'm so sorry. Yes, my first time here. I'm in northern Alberta, Canada. Oh, great. Oh, I hope you sign up. Josephine's here. Welcome, Josephine. I'm currently working on the mushroom. I've been away from art for a while. It's been really nice to get back at it. Well, I am so happy, Josephine, that, you know, that free lesson has inspired you to show up. That's my whole goal here. That's my whole goal with these lives, is to inspire you to show up, to want to create. And yeah, of course, I would love for you to join me on this magical journey with PanPastel, because I've done all the other mediums, most of them, and this was the first time I felt like I was home. So that is what I love about this medium so much. So I feel like I got her arm. I'm going to work on her leg right here and just keep pushing that back and show you how I do that. We have a little bit of time left here. Boho girl. Yeah, I do think she's boho. Definitely got the boho vibe, which I'm liking. That's definitely part of my jam. So I'm going to see, now isn't this curious? So you would think that this violet extra dark would push back darker here, but it's not. And that's where your black comes into the whole system. And the black will push it back to a 9 at least on the value scale. But I got to get this leg pushed back so it will be farther back than this elbow. And I'm going to bring this up a hair. It's a happy balance between skin tone and shade. So in the lesson that Luis was talking about, the one right here, all the colors within, this one, I really get into, you know, we're all different skin tones, and I really get into how to mix all the different ranges. I have a whole little section on it. So I'm really trying to break down skin tones because they can be a little tricky. So I go a lot deeper. So if you're interested in going deeper on that, that's definitely a lesson. But I will say, if you're brand new, you want to go take a few of my, I give a getting started guide in the PanPastel, which I'm, for all of you that are PanPastel Insider members here, well, raise your hand. I'm sure there's quite a few of you in here. All of you, I'm doing an updated getting started guide. So that's going to be released here soon too, because I have new things for it. So I'm going to push this back a little bit. I'm looking in my camera. I feel like that's still maybe a little too dark, but I think I just got to bring up the skin tone just a hair right here, because I want this to have some light hitting on it, and I'm going to round it out. And then right here, I think I need to bring this up. So now her leg's pushed up a little bit. So I'd have to go in between here. Yeah, it's a little happy dance. That's what it is. So a lot of it, when you're applying, it floats on the paper a certain amount. So when you load up your wand here, you only have so much time for that to move, and it'll start picking up what's below it. So when that happens and it starts picking up, you got to wipe off and then reload into the color that you're wanting to work with. And so it does float around on the UArt to a certain degree, but I'm playing with it here, and I'm just trying to find this happy little medium here. I think I knocked this off a little bit, and I think I'm going to like that a little bit better. Yeah, I feel like that fades in, the legs faded in a little bit. I can probably bring down where that head is right here a little bit more, but and I'm wiping off because I have too much. Now this is going to pick up and it's going to mix when I've wiped off my wand, and I know that. So I can only do it a little bit, and then I'm going to have to put something on for it to move around. And I'm starting to get better at explaining that process, because that, I think application can be a little tricky for new people. Now I'm going to clean up the tattoo a little bit. Now I already know my wand's going darker and darker, so that's why I'm wandering over to darker places. Now I got shadows. Okay, I'm going to check up on chat here. Let's see. Oh, thank you, Jonas. I like that. I like that you come visit. That's awesome. Have you been working on any portraits lately? I haven't seen you in my feed. So who's been your last portrait? I have to go check out your Instagram. Jonas does amazing portraits, and he's on Instagram. So I love following you on Instagram. Laura says, I think the most difficult part is going to be that poppy on the neck, because the tattoo would still have that crease between the neck and the collarbone, so the tattoo would look pushed in. Yeah, it might just end up being a little like artistic license, because I'm not going to go and be too literal, because her collarbone goes about right here. So that would be tricky. It goes down right there. And so I'll probably just leave some artistic license, because what I've learned through the whole thing is you just need enough for the viewer to fill in the gaps. Now that's something to think about. Like really think about that when you're doing your art. I enjoy doing this down here, but it could be a little bit more simplified and blurred out. Because for me, if you think of focal points, you're dividing this up into thirds. So this is in a focal point area. This is a focal point. So, and then her eye over here is in a like focal point. So yeah, to letting some of it blur out might be where I go back on a pass and blur out a little bit more, especially maybe right here, but I'll just see how it goes, because I'm not going to be able to get it perfect, and I'm okay with that. I'm okay. Even if they look like they're coming out of her skin, I kind of like that idea of like she's part of the earth, and she's part of the tattoos are part of her, but they're also growing and they're also alive, and there's a lot of symbolism there, that this is where the painting starts having its own voice. And when I have to push where maybe that would be really difficult and maybe challenging, I can make a choice to see how I feel about it. But I'm kind of giving you an insight to how my brain works on those moments, and that's what I kind of think, because I don't mind if it's a little surreal. I'm okay with that. So let's see. Well, I love that. We have a lot of hands raised there. My mushroom printed too large for the 5x7 board I prepped, so I need to resize it or prep the larger board. Thinking of going that route instead. Oh, Daisy, very important. Go sign up for that lesson, that free lesson. It gives you everything you need to know for paper. There's no beginner paper or advanced paper. There's only one paper that I suggest, and it's UArt 600 grade. There's multiple grades, so don't get caught up in buying 400 because that'll tear up your tools. The lower the number, the rougher the paper is, and UArt is my go-to. If you live in the States, you can get it basically very easily. If you don't live in the States, my runner-up is the Clairefontaine Pastel Matte. I haven't tried out that new velvet yet to kind of recommend it either, but that one really works. You don't get as many layers though, and with the pencils, but it still works. This UArt paper, you want to use the same paper as, you know, who's teaching or you're trying to, you know, emulate, because the reason why I can do all this is because of the paper. Now, I've asked many of you, like, what's the most important supply? And some people would think it'd be my PanPastels, and it's actually, I will put the paper up above the PanPastel. So that's my little moment for UArt. Let's see here. Oh, we have a few people already chimed in with the UArt. Oh, look at this community. You guys are awesome. Oh, Emma Watson. Ooh, I'm excited for that one, Jonas. Yeah, I can't wait to see it either. Oh, Blue Daisy, you're going to have fun. If you go get the free lesson, you're going to have everything you need to get started and have a positive experience. So I hope you'll do that, because that's why I put it up there. I think it's Jonas. Jonas Mark is his IG name too. Susan Thames. Oh, there. Yeah, good, Susan. You bring her to the other side. I know there's a lot of people with PanPastel and supplies, and they haven't really dappled. They're sitting around, and my goal is to make you inspired to want to pull them out and feel confident and have a confident core structure of a process to give you a positive experience. And then you can go take it where you want and do all that. But definitely give yourself permission to take some time and follow at least a couple of the lessons in there, and they'll give you a good start. Amy's here, welcome. I get to say hello during a live, and I'm an insider, but I work Tuesdays and usually can't join. Well, welcome, Amy. I'm so glad that you're here. I can't wait to share with you guys this week's insider lesson. And I'm doing the stackable owls with my own twist on it. I couldn't do exactly between the earth or the bright purple. So I am doing my own thing with where I'm at now, with who I am now, and I'm pretty excited. So I redrew them up. I'm really excited to do that that class for you guys this week, and it will be revealed. All my when we're on the week that a lesson gets released, I send out a newsletter on Fridays, so that's when they get revealed. Let's see here. Michelle says, oh, Amy's in Nashville. Awesome, Amy. Well, I'm so glad you were able to make it today. Michelle says, my only regret as a beginner was not getting the correct paper for whatever medium I was using. I feel using the wrong paper can stall your learning. 100% Michelle. And Michelle lives in Australia, so they really went out of their way to get the paper, and it was, I think, worth it. I'm so glad that you were able to get some. Lutz Mackenstedt. I have all of PanPastel, Caran d'Ache, Pint Pencil, Carbithilla Rembrandt sticks, and half of Schmincke sticks. Well, that's awesome. Are you using them, Lutz? That's the question. And if you're not, I hope I can inspire you to show up. That's what I'm hoping. Louise says, totally agree. Before getting, yeah, Louise was another one getting the UArt. They struggled. And I do have a little heavier of a hand with my process, so I am not the delicate with a whole plan mapped out. I do value studies now to show my students where my brain's going on my way, because I don't always use references like this. I mean, you can see I've changed this reference up a ton, and so I don't keep a reference in a lot of my lessons because I do change them up and I change the lighting up. So I do value studies, and those really help you guys along the way. At least I've been getting some great feedback with that, with their lessons, because it's definitely a journey. Oh, auto run margarita time. Well, have a good one, Marty. So glad that you were here today. Awesome. Okay, let's see, I have a few more minutes. I'm gonna see here maybe what I want to work on before I leave. And then I can go on that. I think I'm gonna go and bring up this arm right here. I'll work on finishing up that because I feel like I really did a good job here. I feel like I got this pushed back in shadow so that hand really looks like it's coming over. And then I can work on just bringing this arm up here. Oh, good, Debbie. So you're on the paper too? Yeah, the black is my favorite. I do probably, I would say 75% of my lessons are on the dark. Yeah, it's challenging with Amazon. You don't know what you're going to get sometimes. They do, I have ordered it a couple times on there and had a good experience. Getting the right grade is challenging, so it needs to be 600. Ordering it through Mary Artist, you can save an additional 10% off. I don't know if you're in the US. I think you are. You said you were in, yeah, you're in the US. So if you go to Mary Artist, you can get it cheaper. And you can use my coupon code DawnVS. And so right below here, there is a link where it says supplies on my live. I'll try to put it in chat here. Let's see if I have it. And you can go onto my page and then, here it is. I'll put this in there. And if you use DawnVS, you'll get an additional 10% off. They're the best prices for PanPastel. They have the best prices for the Carbothello pencils. They also carry Caran d'Ache. I've gotten them to carry quite a bit of stuff. And they carry the UR in dark and ivory and the 12 by 18 and the 9 by 12. So here is this link. Feel like something's really hot? It's probably, it's not my camera. Started smelling. So there's that link for that. Thanks, Bluetooth, but I haven't started painting yet because of final tests and my new job as a train driver. Ooh, that sounds interesting. A train driver? Like a real train? Wow, that sounds really cool. Okay, I'm gonna work on this. I've got a few more minutes here. If you got any more questions, now is the time, guys. That's what these lives are for, is for your questions. Definitely a good time to ask. So I'm just smoothing these out because I blocked all this in, and now I'm refining. I'm on a refining layer, and I have my transfer lines because I transferred this, and I'm burying those. And this is a little bit lighter because it's a little bit forward. I'm hitting my reference just for this angle of light right here. It's hitting on the wrist. I don't need to put it, make it too dramatic, but I'm trying to get it to pull out a little bit. So I got to play with that. And you got to definitely start somewhere, you guys. And remember, I have over 7 years worth of PanPastel experience. So I've been on this journey for a while. It's the first, that's really dramatic, so I got to tone that down a lot. It's the first medium that I fell in love with that could hold my attention span. I didn't feel like I felt very satisfied because I can do almost anything with this medium that I can do with the mixed media that I was obsessed about for a while. And I think that's what I love about this. So a lot of my lessons and classes and even lives, you'll see I use stencils with them. I try to push this medium all the way to its limits to see what it can do. And so you can see how I can subtly just keep pushing this back and forth. And I'm playing with the shadow here. All right, I'm going to check your questions here. I know, Michelle. Oh, in Canada. Okay, I forgot about that, Blue Daisies. So yeah, you can try to see. The other thing, you guys, go to uart.com, especially if you're in Canada. They have a location spot on their website that will list all the stores in Canada that carry it. So that's something to consider. Yes, Mary Artist has been awful. I mean awesome, not awful, awesome. Yeah, they do a great job in packaging. Thank you, Jonas, so much. Oh, the Northern Lights, I've never painted those. I think that would be a lot of fun. I've had people suggest it to me. All right, guys, well, if you guys have any more questions, I'm willing to answer them, but I think I've gotten pretty far today. It feels pretty good. I'm really enjoyed the journey with everyone. And I'll be here next week. I go live 3 times a month and I take a week off. So last week was my week off. And this is actually brought forward, so I'm going to bring that up. This whole hand is forward. Trying to create a line there, so I'm going to have to go back since I hit it twice. So I'm going to keep bringing this up, and then I'll have to push that back. And that's what I'll be working on, is bringing this hand forward. Actually, this whole part is lighter. Oh, now I'm into this moment. I'm going to do this before I leave. But at least you're going to be able to see the hand come forward. So see how all the fingers are pushed back? Those are all going to be brought forward too. So you're pushing and pulling back like I explained earlier about the value. All right. Thank you, Michelle, for all your cheering. I appreciate that. Blue Daisy, you're welcome. So glad that you came, and I'm stoked that you're going to sign up for the free lesson. Take care, Steve. Thank you, Michelle. Well, you too, Debbie. And I saw your piece in the Facebook group. I haven't had a chance to go comment in there, but I do see everything. Good job for showing up. I'm stoked for you. You too, Louise. So glad that you were able to make it, really. Jonas, Louise, Michelle, Steve. Got quite a few of you in here. Lynn. So glad you guys made it. Lutz, so glad that you came today. Thank you for showing up and saying hi. Marty was here. Debbie. A lot of you in chat. So Amy was here. Awesome. Susan, you take care. I look forward to seeing your piece. All right, you guys. Well, you take care, and I will see you here next week. Thank you for joining me on the journey with my own personal piece. And I've just really enjoyed this time connecting with you all. And I hope I've inspired you to maybe show up or even watch some more videos and just get yourself excited to learn more. All right, you guys take care, and I will see you next week. All right, bye everyone.